It started with a mistake, a simple, tired, overwhelmed mistake. Maria had been running on fumes for weeks, juggling 2 part-time jobs, raising a 5-year-old son on her own, and barely keeping the lights on in their cramped apartment in a neighborhood where sirens sang lullabies each night. She hadn't planned a vacation, God, no, she could barely afford groceries, but when her friend from high school offered her an old, nearly expired flight voucher, she jumped at the chance to visit her sister in Seattle for a weekend. It was supposed to be a break, a breath of air before drowning again in the weight of her daily grind. But in the chaos of the airport, the restless toddler tugging at her hand, and her own lack of sleep, she boarded the wrong flight. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the beauty of unexpected blessings, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe to Royal Stories to never miss a soul-touching journey. The flight she boarded was heading to Boston, not Seattle. Maria didn't even realize until they were airborne, the seatbelt light still glowing above her as her heart dropped through the cabin floor. She sat frozen in seat 14A, her son Leo curled against her side, snoring softly. Panic rose in her throat. She had no money for another ticket, no relatives in Boston, and no clue what to do next. Her chest tightened. She couldn't even afford to cry. But then, the man beside her shifted. He looked up from his book, a hardbound edition of something she'd never heard of, thick with tiny text. He was tall, neatly dressed in a charcoal suit that looked like it belonged in a magazine ad, not on a plane flying economy. His hair was graying at the temples in that effortlessly elegant way, and his deep blue eyes, cold at first glance, narrowed in curiosity as he studied the young woman melting into fear beside him. Maria didn't notice him at first. She was too busy whispering apologies to Leo and gripping the handle of her worn carry-on like a lifeline. But he noticed her. How couldn't he? She was clearly out of place, trembling and anxious, her face tired but striking, like someone who had forgotten how beautiful she truly was. Something inside him stirred. This wasn't just any man. This was Nicholas Grant, CEO of a major tech conglomerate, one of the most sought-after minds in the country, a man who had built empires but couldn't remember the last time someone had spoken to him without calculating what they could gain. He was successful, admired, and utterly, devastatingly alone. He was on this flight not for business, but because the silence in his mansion was louder than the city he lived in. No family, no wife, no kids, just quarterly reports and luxury cars that couldn't hug him goodnight. He said nothing at first. Just watched her. And when the flight attendant walked by and Maria, blinking back tears, asked in a shaky voice about the destination, the truth clicked into place. Her mistake was real, and it broke her. Maria tried to hide it. She smiled at Leo, rubbing his back, whispering that everything was okay when it absolutely wasn't. That simple, quiet strength hit Nicholas like a punch. He hadn't felt something real in years. Something that wasn't wrapped in business suits and contracts. When the plane landed, Maria stood in a daze, apologizing to the staff, explaining through tears that she'd gotten on the wrong flight. She tried to contact her sister, but her phone died. Leo was hungry. The airport was cold. Her world was falling apart in a strange city. And that's when Nicholas stepped forward. He offered her help, not in the way rich people often do, with a condescending pat or a handout. He offered quietly, gently, like a man who understood what it meant to break and be seen in the breaking. He said he had connections, that he could help get her a ticket, arrange a place to stay for the night. Maria, too tired to argue, too desperate to refuse, agreed. She didn't know why she trusted him, only that something in his eyes made her believe he wasn't just being kind, he was being human. The next few days unfolded like something from another life. Nicholas arranged a hotel suite for Maria and Leo, not the kind with marble floors and gold accents, but warm, cozy, and stocked with everything a mother and child could need. He visited every evening, bringing dinner, reading stories to Leo, listening to Maria talk for the first time in months about dreams she thought she had buried under bills and responsibilities. And she listened to him too. To his silence, to the way he paused before sharing anything personal, as if afraid to be vulnerable. He never crossed a line, never made her feel indebted or small. He simply saw her. And slowly, Maria saw him too. She saw the sadness behind his success, the deep longing in his gaze when Leo hugged him goodbye each night. She saw a man who had everything but happiness. And he saw a woman who had nothing but love, and was richer than anyone he'd ever known. Nicholas didn't let her leave empty-handed. He offered her a job, not charity, but a real position, something she was qualified for and capable of. He owned a non-profit arm of his company she didn't even know existed, one that helped underprivileged mothers return to the workforce. He asked her to join the team. She hesitated, but Leo looked at her, wide-eyed and hopeful. And something in her shifted. Maybe this was what grace looked like, not a miracle falling from the sky, but a person beside you on a plane, quietly offering you a new path. Weeks turned into months. Maria moved to Boston with Leo. She worked hard, learned fast, and became a voice for others like her. Her confidence grew. So did her bond with Nicholas. What started as kindness became connection. What began as a mistake became a turning point. And one crisp autumn evening, as golden leaves danced around their feet and Leo giggled in the background, Nicholas took her hand and said something that shattered every wall she'd built around her heart. "You saved me, Maria." Not the other way around. Viewers, if this story touched your heart even a little, if you believe love finds us in the most unexpected places, and that broken people can heal each other, please like this video, comment how it made you feel, share it with someone who needs hope, and don't forget to subscribe to Royal Stories for more unforgettable journeys. Special request. Please comment below, what would you do if a stranger on a plane changed your life?